this video, we are going to talk about medical cover and healthcare system. It's important to say that when you are starting this visa process or you are doing your visa process and you need to find an insurance, it's not something you can just choose not to have or something because it's expensive or what you may think. You have to get an insurance. It's mandatory in Dubai and Abu Dhabi actually. If you are not having this health insurance, you are actually getting a fine. You cannot just not have it.
Of course, for your own peace of mind, we also just recommend you to have a good health insurance. There is some, let's say, cheap or very affordable health insurances just to get you covered on paper, but then it's actually not covering that much. So also be sure that you look about what is it covering, and yeah, it is up to you, but I don't recommend you to just choose the cheapest just to live up to this requirement. We talked about when we first wanted to choose our health insurance that this is an area that we don't want to save on. We don't want to save on our health. So even though that we are young and don't at the moment have any issues, you can't predict the future. So I definitely want to recommend you to take this serious, not just as a step to live in Dubai and getting your visa, but just to have a secured life and invest in yourself, you can sort of say, with a great health insurance.
Yeah, because it can actually get very expensive if you are not having a health insurance that is covering enough, because all these treatments can actually get so expensive. It's like very expensive. So it's the cheapest option actually to have an insurance that is covering everything that you need in the beginning, instead of this not having insurance covering.
So what does it typically cover, you might think? Of course, it is in general hospitalization. It can be in any emergency. It can be surgeries. It can be general tests. It can also be that you attend a health checkup or some tests about your health. It can be medication, maternity. Often that's an area that you need to add. For newborn, that's possible. So yeah, tests in general, and both inpatient and outpatients treatments. So it is like a 360 coverage, and you want to make sure that it can cover everything in your life. And you can see here on the screen an example of how a health insurance card might look like. This is from Sukoon. So that is also like an online digital card that shows that you are covered.
There's always this question, as I also talked about before. Someone has to pay for this insurance, and it depends on who is giving you a visa. Because if you are an employee of an employer, the employer has to pay for your insurance also. But if you are giving yourself a visa and you're self-employed, then you of course have to pay for this insurance yourself. That's just how it is.
And just as an example of two, I think some of the biggest companies in Dubai, and of course it's not necessary that the biggest is the best, but there is Sukoon, and then there are Dubai Insurance. That is the two companies that we are having at the moment. We actually started having Sukoon, both of us, but then we changed Ina's insurance to Dubai Insurance because we wanted to be sure that her insurance can cover maternity, because we are hopefully, inshallah, waiting a baby. That's also a word that you will learn in Dubai. That most probably it will happen soon. So what we found out is that in our situation and in our case, for some reason, the Sukun insurance for maternity was, in my world, crazy expensive. Then we kind of researched the market, and that is the tip we want to give you from the beginning. That is, get more options. And an easy way to get more options is not just Google and find 3 companies and get 3 offers, but you can use some platforms or sort of private companies, portals. There's 2 of them that I would specifically recommend for you. The first one you will see everywhere at the moment in Dubai is called insurancemarket.ae. And one of their competitors, also a great choice, is called Policy Bazaar. These 2 platforms, you can get a lot of quotes. I'm not sure how many, but there is a lot of different quotes, so that will give you an overview of the best prices, the best coverage, and then you can choose what you would like. And that was the process we did with Ina on our second year here in Dubai. So we talked with a consultant from one of these platforms, and they found the best insurance for maternity, so that we were sure that it can cover the full process of getting a newborn baby, all the tests and all, of course, the steps in that process. And also, of course, we looked at the price, and I think we saved, to shift your insurance, and it was not actually the cheapest one. I think we saved definitely more than 50%.
Yeah, we saved like 20,000 dirham by doing this research, and
yearly.
Yearly. What we did was actually, Sukun was so expensive because we told them we want like the premium plan for maternity, but they were very expensive in that category. And then we researched the market for the same, premium maternity, like the best coverage.
Yeah, and same coverage
exactly.
also.
So we just like looked at the same plan but different companies and found a better solution, a cheaper solution, but still a very good coverage.
Yeah, and what you will figure out is that all insurance companies almost work with the same hospitals. So there is a lot of private hospitals in Dubai, of course, and you also have your free right of choosing between these hospitals. Of course, there can be some different plans that allows different kind of lists, so that there can be a bit different, but mainly there's not a huge difference. You almost have access to the same hospitals, even if you are at insurance company 1 or insurance company 2, or if this plan. Of course, the plan can be different from what hospitals you have access to. If you have like a premium plan and are paying a premium price, there can be some premium hospitals that you have access to that you don't have on the cheapest plan, as an example.
Yeah, you like always have like almost every hospital to choose from when you have a premium plan. So you can just like go on a map, where do I live, what is nearest my home, if you have a very good plan. So yeah, that's very good to know.
Yeah, but when you're getting quotes from some health insurance companies, then what we recommend you to look after, besides the price, that is the limit, the coverage that you are having on your plan. So what is the amount that you are covered for on specific areas? That is very important to kind of compare the plans and the companies on that. And also you can be aware of, does it cover optical? Does it cover a dentist? Some plans don't cover at all. Some plans cover a percentage. It can be 50% or more. So that can also be relevant for you to understand, do I have to pay all myself for optical dentist besides my health insurance, or is it covered in the plan already?
Yeah, so just we have a little information about if you should move to Dubai with your partner and you are looking into this insurance plan where you need to have the maternity plan for your wife. You have to choose the newborn package and the maternity package. But one thing you need to be aware of is that if you want a delivery to be covered in Dubai, then you need to be married as a couple. That is step one. You cannot like get it covered if you're not married. You're just boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever.
Yeah, but one information we can add to this topic is that it is not a requirement or law, even though that Dubai is a Muslim country, that the woman has to be married. But it's true, in order to be covered, so that you don't have to pay yourself, then it's a requirement.
Yeah.
That is so far what we have experienced. I'm not sure it's a requirement from the companies. I think it must be UAE law that is telling the health insurance companies that the coverage is only when it's a married couple. So yeah, when you are applying for this pregnancy coverage, it will be necessary that you are married before getting this plan.
Yeah, and send the documentation for the marriage to this insurance company so that it's like in the system of this insurance company, and get it on paper that it's registered. And please check that it's changed in the system, because it wasn't for me when we got married, and I called my insurance to tell them, and I sent proof to them. I think some weeks after I did this, I saw in the system that I was still single. So I had to be proactive and tell them again, please change my marital status to married and not single anymore, because then it's not on paper that I'm married. So yeah, that's something to be aware of. Also, when you are planning, let's say you are planning to be married and you want to be covered to get a child in Dubai, then you need to prove to this insurance company that from the day you paid your insurance and 40 days after this date, you have to prove that you're not pregnant in the first 40 days. At least that's what we heard from 2 companies, insurance companies, that there must be like 40 days before you can get pregnant. So that's very important to know, because they will not cover it.
Yeah, and it makes great sense that if you're already pregnant, then you cannot just buy a pregnancy coverage. So they want that you from day one are not pregnant, but then during the next, let's say after the 40 days, then of course then you're covered.
Yeah.
As an example, this is a screenshot of my personal plan. Just to give you an insight of what it looks like, and I just think that it's best for you to do your own research and compare different companies. So it's not like we say Sukun is the best company, even though that's the one I have chosen, or Dubai Insurance is the best company. For our situations, we think that was kind of filling our need. But do your own research and see what fits your situation. And also, I would recommend that you also read about testimonials, because we have seen and heard about some insurance providers where they are having a very, very bad reputation. We have not experienced it ourselves, because I think so far Sukun and Dubai Insurance have been great, but we have seen some companies where they are having a bad reputation, and Google reviews is telling like this company is not paying and they are not covering as they promised. So yeah, please avoid that, and please be aware of that. The cheapest solution on the market can maybe become your most expensive choice. So the cheapest can be the most expensive solution. So up to you, but we don't recommend to just go after the cheapest. Only if you don't care and don't care about your health or coverage. If you just want to get this on paper, then fair enough. So it depends on your situation. Let's talk a bit about if you need a hospital. How do you find a hospital? The first possible way to do it is that there is a government website called dubaihealth.ae. We have not used it ourselves, but it is a possibility to use this website and get an overview. Also, you can call or email your insurance provider. Most probably they are having a website where you can browse a provider list. So some companies are calling it a network list, where they kind of show you in each area. It can be health, it can be optical, it can be different areas, more specific niches. They can show you what network list they are working with and who are the providers that you can choose from. You can talk with your insurance company or go to their website and most probably find this list. And the third option is maybe do your own research, Google. We kind of did that as well, actually. Last time we was at a hospital was King's College Hospital, London. And that was actually just because we, on our own research, wanted to go there. And then we, of course, checked, are our insurance covering this specific hospital? And it is. So, it should be pretty easy, but this is kind of the way for you to use it and find a hospital.
Yeah, so as Patrick was saying, we did actually go on Google. The hospitals in Dubai, they are very competitive and they are doing their best to market themselves. So it's very easy to find the biggest and best hospitals in Dubai if you just, Google. And we found, for example, the King's College Hospital in that way. And we are very happy to go there when we have to. And it's just very easy to find a good hospital, and it's very easy to also change a hospital. I started with another hospital that I hated. It was awful, but it's so easy. If I don't like it, I just go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's actually something that's pretty interesting from our home country, and it could be that your experience is the same. We in Denmark are used to getting like the public offering of hospital. So basically there is only one hospital near you that you are using. Of course, you have the option of paying yourself for a private solution, but that is often not pretty common, or typically when you are paying a high taxation to get free hospital. That is the case in Denmark and I think most European countries nowadays. But that's also a mindset shift, because in Dubai you're not attached to a specific hospital. Actually, you can change every month. It's not like you are signing up for a hospital. You just go in there as a weird example, but almost like going to a grocery shop. One day you can go to, I can say an example, you can go to the Spinneys grocery, and the next day you can go to Red Rose. So it's pretty easy, and you have your freedom of choice. And when you are going to pay for the service you got from the hospital, then they just look you up in the system and they can find your health insurance. Often it's just attached to your Emirates ID. So when they got your Emirates ID number, they can see where you're covered, and then you are just being covered automatically. We just experienced that it's pretty common to pay 10% yourself. Depends on your plan, depends on what service you got, but that was our experience. But else it's pretty easy, and you don't have to pay anything except of often this small fee of 10%.
Yeah, and what is so easy if you compare it to a country like Denmark that we are from, where you go to a public hospital and you have to wait and get an appointment in a half year because you are sick right now, then you have to wait 6 months. Okay, the point is you want to go to the doctor and you always have to wait for your appointment. You always, you just have to be deadly sick to get to the doctor the same day. But else you always have to wait and wait and wait to get an appointment. But here, it was so weird. I called a hospital to get an appointment, and they were like, "When do you want to come?" And I'm like, "I don't know. When can I come?" And they were like, "You can just come at 4." And I was like, "Today?" And it was like in the noon time. Yeah. And it was so strange for me to experience that, okay, in 4 hours I can go there and I'm not deadly sick. I can just go there and get checked for whatever I want to get checked. So it's so convenient. You can just like choose your own hospital, go to the hospital same day. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. The quality of hospitals are truly amazing here in Dubai.